Hello, everyone, and welcome to Leverage, the show where we talk about product building. In this podcast, we learn how to leverage product management, no code, and AI to build successful products. We interview product managers, builders, makers, and solopreneurs to help you build your own success. Today, we are talking about transitioning from product management to SaaS Founder with Robin. Thanks for joining us, Robin.
Hey Antonio, nice to be invited on this podcast, and really eager to discuss all of this with you.
Yeah, thank you, man. As I told you, you were one of the first guy I wanted to reach out. So I'm very looking forward to listening to your insight, man. So thanks for saying yes.
Problem, yeah, and I hope my hot takes will be entertaining because
Yeah,
I have a lot of them.
I'm sure. All right, Robin, you've had a successful career as a product manager before founding ListenUp. What inspired you to make this transition from product manager at established companies like Lemlist to founding your own SaaS company?
Yeah, whoa, that was actually it's part of my scoreboard of the hardest decision I took in my life. I think because obviously crazy experience at Lemlist, now
Mhm.
Lempire, but a few people know that the actual company name is Lempire, not Lemlist,
Yes.
and it was a extremely interesting experience. I really wanted also to continue, but at the
Mhm.
same time, I really wanted to launch ListenUp for various reasons. Maybe we can talk about them later. But I just asked. I really like the framing, which is if you had a discussion with yourself, but you're 80 years old, uh, will you regret not taking this decision? And
Mm.
the answer was clear, crystal clear. It was yes. So once I did this little mental exercise, the next day I just decided to go full time on this
Yeah,
project. Yeah,
the next day.
yeah, and here I am.
Man, that's crazy. Actually, it's so much. I was checking your resume before this interview, and I was like, "Wow, there's so many things to say. There are so many cool stuff that you've done because you've done actually products at Taplio, and we're gonna talk about everything. But maybe to start first, maybe we can explain what is Lempire because we talk about Lempire and Limlist. Then we're gonna explain also what is ListenUp just to a bit figuring out what's the industry, where were you, what made you what you are today.
Okay, so yeah, Lempire, B2B SaaS company. So, and actually, not one single product, but an ecosystem of products for the same type of customer. So it's mainly sales teams in the tech industry, ranging from small companies to not big one, but let's say mid market.
Yeah,
And at first it was only Lemlist, which is the most known product.
yeah,
Then we created Lemworm, then we created Lemcal, then we created Lemverse, then we created Lemleads. There are a lot of products now, but it's an interesting company. I think the most interesting side of it is that it was completely bootstrapped.
yeah.
And also the go-to-market was a full personal brand on LinkedIn mostly. So it's quite a unique business, and that's what made it very interesting, I think.
Yeah, I think in Europe you have very few startups in this kind. It's just like bootstrapped millions in less than 5 years. It's the journey is just crazy. So I won't talk about Empire the whole podcast, but if you want,
Yeah,
guys, have
for
our
a podcast online about it.
yes, et voilà. If you want to get to know better that thing, you can go there. But that's very interesting because actually I've seen that you were like head of product at Lemcall, head of product at Lemlist, head of product at. So actually for me, it's kind of a portfolio product manager that you were. So what it is to have all those ads at the same time.
Yes, so I think it's important to note I did separate each
Yeah,
product on my LinkedIn profile mainly for SEO on
yeah,
LinkedIn because when people look for a specific product, they know they're gonna find this and they're not like actually searching for the company name. in our case. So that's just for that. But yeah, I was managing the whole ecosystem. But yeah, it was mainly Lemlist, Lemworm, Lemverse at the time. Uh,
Yeah,
but yeah.
I've been there.
Oh, you've been there? You've
I've been
been.
there in the Lambverse.
Okay. Yeah, that was yeah, really fun experience,
It was,
and also a lot of lessons
yeah,
to extract from it. Maybe we can also discuss it later.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was nice. This is where I discovered Gator. I mean, the 2D word, and I was like, oh yeah, this is very interesting. And I've met some hackers, indie hackers there. It was very interesting. I met a couple of cool guys, so that was nice. And then they changed the environment a couple of times, but I was like, okay, I've been lost in transition. I've seen you mention product builder at Malt previously. What did you do there, and why did you move to product management after that?
Yes. So long story short, I started doing freelancing during my engineering studies because I was just really bored and I felt like I was actually it was not the best investment of my time.
What
And
did you study?
engineering school. Yeah, the last 2 years were really boring, to be honest. And I just thought my time could be used in a more efficient way. So I decided to start freelancing, and
Awesome.
it was also a way to launch myself into the business world, let's say the real world. Yeah, I knew how to code, but I wasn't that good, and I never actually code any application
Okay.
by myself. So it was just a way also to push myself to do it. So I just created my profile on
No
freelancing
way.
platforms like Malt. I put the price per day like the lowest as low as possible.
What was the price?
It was I don't remember, but I couldn't. No, I don't remember, but
Okay.
it was super low, like less than 100 a day for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was super funny because obviously you get a lot of really bad proposition from shady people, but also you have some legit ones.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how I started. And I
And what
was
did you do then? Web
I,
development?
it was mobile apps.
Okay.
So I position myself like, hey, I can do websites, I can do SaaS application, I can also do mobile apps. And my goal, my intent was like, okay, if people are interested, I'm just gonna be extremely honest with them that I'm not that experienced. It's okay. That's why I'm cheap, but I'm gonna do my best because I'm trying to learn.
It's
And
honest.
also, yeah, and I was dividing
Yeah.
my invoice like for each stage so that
Okay.
I couldn't if I wasn't able to fulfill the whole mission, I could still get paid and people were happy. Like that was the deal.
Oh,
And
that's not. This is how you overcome imposter syndrome, right? Because you're like, I'm not gonna fake it till you make it, but it's more like I'm gonna put myself there and be honest and say, okay, I'm gonna try to achieve this with you guys, but I can be honest and say, okay, I've reached 50% of 6%. That's the price. That's the deal. That's
yeah,
that's clever.
exactly. And I mean, people were okay with it. So uh,
Mm.
that's how, and it was a really good decision to be honest, because then I was forced to actually ship something. And that's how I learned. I was like sending messages to people I knew that were experienced engineers, software engineers. So I could like learn how to do it. Then I had to learn how to design also. Then I had to learn how to like deploy on app stores the actual app. And also the client was not even know didn't even know how to market the app, so I also had to think about the app store optimization,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
yeah, on the page, like the screenshot, everything. So
super interesting. And
very interesting. And also I was
the,
making money, which
yeah, I
was
was going to ask you, were
yes.
you profitable? Because if you have to pay the friends who will give you some advice and say, okay, I'm going to help you on this.
Yeah,
Um,
I was profitable, and also I didn't had to I like didn't pay anyone to give me advice. Like mostly people are
yeah,
super nice, and
it's
that's
kind
been
of open source,
yeah.
knowledge open source.
Open source advices, yes, exactly. Yeah, it worked, and
Cool, man.
I was building like even stuff. I was super surprised to have been able to build like I built
Did you
one
build?
app for it was a how do you say in English, real estate app,
Oh
and
yeah.
you had like the map of Paris, and you could like look into the all the history of property that were sold in
Oh,
the past, the actual price, how many square meters was the surface, which bâtiment, like a lot of really interesting stuff. I didn't even knew that those information were public, but they are.
Yeah.
There is like a government API to
Website. Oh,
get
there's
them,
a API.
so that's super
What
fun.
which tech stack did you use then?
It was Flutter because I was learning it and I really liked the message, even if I wasn't experienced enough to know like which technology was the best fit for the situation. But I just really liked the everything, the resources, the fact that you only had to code once and you could deploy on
Yeah.
both iOS and Android.
Cross
Like,
platforms.
yeah,
Yeah.
it actually was a good decision because still
Mm.
today Flutter is getting uh, even more popular. It's still
Yep.
very great for a lot of stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, Vue and Flutter is pretty good. Nice frameworks. But
yeah.
with that skill set, man, did you ever think about launching your own agency?
No,
Why not?
because it's maybe you're gonna laugh, but I didn't even thought about it just because I was not aware like you could launch an agency and start like this. So yeah, and also another important reason I think is I
Mm.
really like to build apps. Like the product is what interests me the most, and
Yeah.
actually the craftsmanship behind it.
Yeah.
And maybe if I was working as an agency, I would lose a bit of that. So uh,
Mm.
I don't know. Maybe I never
Yeah.
tried. Yeah,
It is more like productizing
yeah,
web development and product development. So
yeah,
maybe launching SaaS is
yeah. I
what
wanted
works for you.
to build my own app, and the worst idea ever. It was around the same time. A habit tracker on mobile app. I didn't knew anything about like positioning and markets and anything. And yeah, it's super competitive. And like habit trackers, I think
Uh,
I don't know how much habit trackers you can find on the app stores, but I'm guessing it's probably in the thousands.
yeah, it's like a to do list to do app.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, the hardest level to start, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was funny.
B2C. I
Yeah,
think it's
see, super hard.
yeah,
Mobile
super hard.
app even harder. Super common app with a lot of competitors, like
Yeah.
even harder. And yeah, and I just at the time I was reading Atomic Habits,
Ah, yeah. Good book.
very popular book,
Yeah.
and I just thought, oh, maybe we can just build an app that applies the advices of the book directly. So that was the plan.
Oh,
And I
cool.
like a community on Reddit, where I was like building in public on Reddit at the time,
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, it was funny.
Building in public.
Yeah, I didn't release the app. I was going to like I think I had like only 1 month of work remaining before I could do like the V1 launch,
Yeah.
but that's the moment also I started working at Lempire. So
Oh, that that's sometimes you have to do a trade off. Like, oh, should I keep there or go in that direction? And sometimes it's good to quit. And I think there is a good time to quit. It's not like a bad thing to quit sometimes to focus on other things.
I 100% agree. Like that's one of the biggest lesson I had, and I also just had a good intuition about it. To be honest, it's just like your intention is so limited, so
Mm.
you really have to choose on what you want to invest. Another good book on this subject is The Subtle Art to Not Give a
Not
Fuck.
giving a fuck.
Yeah, by Mark Manson, and yeah, it's really like this, like focusing on one thing at a time. Otherwise, you just divide your attention, and you're gonna
Yeah,
be good enough on everything. You will never be the best at one thing. So what's the point?
that's very interesting because actually we talked with an indie hacker in a previous episode of this podcast, and he was mentioning I prefer to launch different, multiple little products than to focus on one because I was asking why not one because you are spreading your focus, you are spreading your time, investment, your effort, and he was saying yeah, but I prefer to launch like a spaghetti and see which one's gonna stick on the wall, and then I'm gonna focus on the one that sticks. So
Yeah, that's
that's
also like
another strategy.
that works. I think yeah, there is I really like also this framing that one truth could be also false in another situation on another context. Like there are multiple ways to win, and there are
Yeah,
multiple truths at the same time in the same situations.
you need Yeah, the way you play, I mean, your strategy and the player needs to, you have like a, I don't know if we call that a player fit strategy, kind of, but we should have something like that. Like you have some strategies that you prefer, even, when you do like a card, like, because I'm doing the analogy with cards, because you mentioned on your banner the card decks that you need to build a B2B products. And actually, it makes me think about like, with like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Magic cards, you have
Yeah,
different decks
yeah,
that
yes, exactly.
suits different type of player.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
and also one time I was a bit interested in game theory. I don't know if you're familiar with it,
yeah,
but
I
there
love
are a
it.
lot of interesting concepts.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
I love
obviously,
gamification too. To put
yes,
gamification in, wow, this is
the
so
strategy of
powerful.
the other, we also influence yours, and so the winning strategy is depending also on how the other behaving, which is super interesting. And super cool fact, I don't know how you say in English, so I'm gonna ask you the word in English. I only know the one in French, but des enchères, how do you
Oh
say?
yeah, kind of bets,
Uh,
not bets.
how, I'm gonna search on
Yes,
Google.
for me it's betting, but I don't think it's
Bid, yeah, bidding. Okay, I didn't know that.
bidding. Oh yeah, bid. Yes,
Yeah, and
like in the stock market.
there are two types of bid, like very popular bid. That the one that everyone is thinking about, where we all have a price, and the biggest price win, right?
Yeah.
That's the one you see in movies and stuff. But there are someone created like a new kind of bid where he just reverse engineer everything, and he said, okay, I want the winning strategy to be you have to give the price you think is the fairest for the given product or object that's being sold. So you will not win by trying to give the biggest price. You will win
Mm.
by being like
Yeah, in
what's
the
the
middle.
best value
Yeah.
value with the actual value of the, which is kind of crazy as a concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually how it works, and that's actually how Google Ads works
Whoa, that's interesting.
using this system.
I like that.
And the how it works is like everyone write a price, and you can't know, you can't see what the other also have as a price. Everyone showed the price at the last time, uh, at the end, sorry. And it's the second biggest price that's gonna, no, the first, the sorry, the highest price, the person with the highest price will win, but at the price of the second one. I think that's the
Oh,
rule. And
okay.
just that little variation
That's
is
great.
changing the whole winning strategy of the
I like
bid.
that. Makes me think about like I think someone told me in business school, a teacher, like yeah, you have different, in public sector you have tender. In Belgium, I think it's the cheapest one always. Like the cheapest provider is selected, and he was comparing that, I think, to Switzerland, another country, and they do apply this like in a tender. It's not the provider with the highest or the cheapest; it's the provider with the middle that is selected. So that's kind of the same idea. That's interesting. We were talking about when to quit. Would you quit your founder role for another empire kind of opportunity?
If I had to, yes, yes.
Okay.
I think it's people will say I'm too negative, but let's be honest. Also, the stakes are high, and the winning rate of startups is very low. So you have to be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
It will not work, and one day
Yeah.
you also have to
The odds.
yourself. So yeah, no, I'm really okay with this. To be honest, if you think like long term, you could still have another job, and there are also a lot of. It's also a good experience to know that just being an employee also has a lot of benefits,
Yeah.
and people don't really realize it.
Mhm.
And I'm really okay with this, to be honest.
Yeah. There's this whole hype about like freelancing and doing your own stuff and building your own product and being like financially independent and
Yeah,
being like, you know, you don't need any employer, any client. You just live with some source of revenue from the sky. And
nobody knows where the money is coming from.
I think there was like a post of Guillaume. He reposted. I think Guillaume reposts the same post once in a while, once a year. And there was like this post about like fire. Everybody wants to be financially independent, not working, not giving a fuck about anything. But what they really need is routine, stability, blah blah blah, a sense of purpose. And I think that's very interesting. What would you define as your sense of purpose, Robin?
that's still an ongoing question, so I don't know. But I really like to think also that if we're talking about just being happy in general and feeling like your life is has meaning,
Yeah.
first, I don't think life has meaning. So that's just my view.
Like
Uh,
philosophy.
just we are just monkeys on a rock going around a sun in the void. So yeah, and it's okay. Like it's okay, and
Yeah.
I think it's actually very freeing because
Yeah.
it's free use of a lot of stuff, and so yeah, you have to find your own meaning. I think if you want to
Mm,
feel like you need one, which is the case for most people. And that meaning, I think you can find it just whatever you want. And for me, I don't know yet, but I feel like just trying to be happy, taking life as it goes, and also just try to do cool stuff. I would be super proud to show
yeah.
people. That's enough for me. I think so. I might change my mind in the next few years in my life for sure, but for now, that's how I think about it.
Cool
Yeah.
stuff like ListenUp.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just one way to do it. And but when you think about it, that's crazy. When you're gonna post this podcast, and
Yeah.
even if we have 20 people who listen to it, which I hope it's gonna be a lot more. But that's still crazy. Like
Yeah.
20 people just listening to the conversation, like they were with
Yeah.
us in a room. Which, if it was in real life, you would still think, "Wow, that's so cool."
Just crazy. This is gonna be like in the history book, right?
Yeah.
Just crazy. But, you know, in the world of the whole knowledge, somewhere there are gonna be two talking heads, Robin and Antonio,
Yeah.
somewhere in a
Yeah.
tiny version of this world. But we are contributing.
We don't
I
know.
think
In
it's
2000
beautiful.
years, someone is going to listen to this conversation,
Yeah.
and yeah, in space maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Somewhere, we're gonna put that in a USB stick, and I'm gonna send it with a rocket in somewhere, and
just
see.
saying.
And if alien finds it, very inspiring. So for the listeners, we're going to play a game. If you are listening this moment of the podcast, just reach out to Robin or I and just
Uh,
say, "Hey guys, I'm an alien. I received your message."
that's a good idea.
We'll see. We'll see how many aliens do we have here. That's cool, man. So we were talking about like the building fact that listen up. What inspired you to build your own product then?
Just pure frustration with existing tools. When I was actually doing a lot of discovery at Lempire, and I was trying to scale the process, and I'm also like just thinking a lot about. I really like to think about. I don't know how you say in English, but yeah, everything is kind of a bet and have a ROI associated, and people will think that's a really cold way of looking at the world. But I think it's actually very good framing in a lot of situations. Uh,
Mm,
Professional life, obviously, personal life also. I think it's super useful, and I think yeah, the ROI of product discovery. So
yep.
just knowing your customer as best as possible to de-risk the decision you're gonna take in the business,
Yep.
which essentially that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Is extremely time consuming, so
It is.
the cost is high, but the outcome could be high too.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I just like to think about the stuff. Okay, how can we get the same outcome but like reduce the cost?
Yeah.
And so I really thought, okay, now we have AI, far from perfect. I really like to be realistic about it. And my view today is that it's really good for text.
Hmm.
It's good to generate some images or stuff like this. But that's as far as it goes. For the other stuff, no, it's not gonna change the world yet. No, you're not gonna live like in the movie Her yet. No, yeah, it's not gonna replace you yet. We are
Mm,
far from it, and that's just like a really mathematical statistic at very high level. Just LLM are this. So
yeah.
yeah, but it's really good at text. Text
Really.
analysis.
Yep.
Yeah, just summarization, analyzing text, like finding information in a lot of data sets and trying to give you like just a
Yeah.
summary, that kind of task. And that's actually what we do when we do product discovery. I mean,
Yeah.
one step of the process. So I just thought, okay, there is something here. Also, that would be super cool to just like wake up on Monday and have this kind of crystal ball when I can ask my question and know my customer better and take better decision without the associated cost,
Yeah,
which is just it's super time consuming.
it is. Product discovery is super powerful too, but it's very time consuming. This is very interesting because actually you started from your own frustration as a product manager to start your tool, your product, and there is like this kind of not dilemma, but yeah, like how do you find business ID? Like, do you start from your problem you want to solve, or do you start from what others have like issues and you try to fix them? So there's this kind of dilemma. But here you started with your own problem, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, that I actually made a LinkedIn post about like building MVP, and I had the time to think about exactly what you said.
Mm.
And that's exactly one instance where multiple truths are true at the same time. That's the worst sentence ever, but you could start from your own problem. You could start from a random idea you had in the shower. You could start from people you know who have the problem you
Yeah.
don't have, but they do. Or you can start with like new technology and that gives you
Mm.
a new possibilities. Like there are a lot of starting points. Each one of them is valid. Each one
Yeah.
of them is successful examples. So it works, and I just
Yeah.
think it's a trade-off again. Like a lot of things in life, it's a trade-off all the ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think like that's the way I like to think about it. Random idea in the shower, like the trade-off is that cool. You have an idea that's super motivating, but super risky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you have to run a lot of the risking before you start investing 1 year of your time on it. Probably a good idea, but yeah, that could work. Like
Mm.
you're fixing your problem, quite safe because you know the problem exists. So that's just checking the first box, but you have to make sure like enough people have the exact same problem in the exact same context, which is, to be honest, I think the case most of the time. I don't have a good example of like, I mean, in the B2B world,
Yeah.
if you're doing like a standard job, there are like a lot of chance that the problem you have when doing stuff, a lot of other people do have it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and but the cons would be that you don't choose the market.
Yep.
So you could like have a problem
Yeah.
that not a lot of people have, or like the buying power of people you could serve is super low. I don't know. Who the
Students.
problem is not frequent enough, you know. Uh, yeah,
And
if you, yeah, sorry.
yeah, I've seen other people who are also building products based on their SEO demand. So they build the keyword they find. You know, there's also this those guys doing that. It's also a way to validate an idea. Like, okay, what are the SEO demand there? So that's also a
Which
way to find and validate.
it just makes sense. Also, you're just
Yeah,
looking for existing demand. So yeah, why not?
yeah. Do you think you can reach the same level of success of Lempire with ListenUp?
Could you reframe the question?
Yeah. Do you think you could achieve the same level of success as Lemlist, for example, with ListenUp?
Ah, okay, yeah. Obviously, I would like to, but I would love to, but yeah, you don't know. That's so many, like the world is too chaotic to be
Yeah,
predictable as we think it is.
I like what
And
you said.
yeah,
It's
and
like,
you don't know. You
yeah,
could
you
have
don't
like
know because
and have a shitty product and do like everything wrong and still succeed, or you could do like everything the right way,
yeah,
everything.
sometimes
Easy
good
thing.
decisions led to bad outcomes, and bad decisions led to good outcomes. We never know, and this
Yeah,
is the beauty of this human being randomness because we are human beings and we are random, and because we are living in this stochastic world, your product can do a top or 6 months later you launch it the same feature, the same product, the same market. It just do a top or flop because it's stochastic. You don't know.
yeah, exactly. Only
Yeah,
one way to know. That's why I really hate, for instance, in the product world or even in the design world, like when we say I'm gonna validate stuff. No, you don't. You only the risk, and the only validation is when you actually ship something,
yeah,
put it in people's hand, and have the expected outcome. Like,
they're risking.
yeah,
And I think that's a good word, action verb to clarify what do product managers do, because actually we are the risking. right? And I wanted to ask you, makes me think about another thing, like what's the difference between founder and the product manager then?
Good question. Okay, so product man. Yeah, first I think like we really have a problem with defining what a product manager is because it's very different from one company to another. That's it. So we all know like a product manager in our network. You can ask like what's your day-to-day task, what's your responsibility. You probably will not hear the same thing. So in some companies, product manager are just bureaucrats. So they're just gonna align everyone on decision. They don't do like maker work, let's say in a way. They just project manager and in a way in other company they're just gonna be like doing a lot of discovery and that's it, and in another company they're actually gonna define features and maybe do some design, like be really really into the solution space, and in other company it's probably closer to a product marketer or even like a growth. So yeah, there is this spectrum of responsibility, and since it's like a in between role, I think that's just why we have a hard time defining it. So yeah,
Yeah.
hard problem to solve. I don't have a solution, but yeah, and so I will just compare to what I was doing at Lempire, which was I would say it was the bureaucrat part, but it was also like a lot of being in the solution space
Yeah.
and the discovery. So kind of a really good middle of everything,
Interesting.
which we
Yeah.
were really nice if you like all those aspects of the role. Yeah, founder, very close. Okay, that's the way I like to think about it.
Mhm.
I really don't like gatekeeping. So I'm gonna give you an example. I
Yeah.
think some roles I'm not gonna pronounce. There is a lot of gatekeeping. Like, no, you're not like X, so you can't do this.
Yeah.
Why? That's just like a skill set and responsibility, and everyone could have it. No, uh,
Mm.
if you really wanted to become this, you could just learn to be this. Like when you were born, you were not X.
Yeah.
So um, and so you could just like apply this to any role. Like actually, if you wanted to be a designer and an engineer at the same time, you could. That's called like
Mm.
design engineer. Why not? You want to be a product manager and software engineer? You can. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I like to think about this like it's just hats. So with responsibilities and skill sets, and
Mm.
the most of the time, the bigger the company, the more specialists you have. So the
Yeah.
smaller is the hat, and the smaller the company is, the bigger is the hat, and people have like a lot of responsibilities. And if
Mm.
you go right to the bottom, I think that's what a founder is. It's just like having all the hats.
Big head.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Big head.
you're gonna do product manager stuff one day, and the other day you're gonna do you're
Yeah.
gonna be a sales team, and the
I
other
think
day
a product manager is not per se a founder, but a founder need to do some product management. So you're forced to do product management at the beginning,
exactly,
but
exactly.
product managers are not founders. Or maybe first PM, they need this kind of mindset, but they are not. In practice, they are not founder. So
They are not. Yeah, they are not. Yeah, and also to be a bit more nuanced,
yeah.
uh, the skill set you might need as a product manager in a bigger company is really not needed at this stage. Like, let's be honest, company have different stages, and in each one of them, the stakes are not the same. The way of winning is not the same. Uh,
Mm.
so yeah, what might apply in a big company is completely
Yeah.
useless in this stage, and it also goes the other way around. Like what you, for instance, everyone know about this. If you're being extremely scrappy in the beginning, yeah, that might not work in a bigger company, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. I was asking because we used to say in the product world that product managers were like the mini CEO of a product.
Yeah,
Agree?
this one. I don't know. Depend on what you define as a CEO, but if it's taking decision on the product regarding of other departments, could be true in some company, not all of them.
Mm.
Again, very different role in different company, but yeah, if that might, yeah, I don't like
Mm.
it just because it sounds like you're more important than other, right?
Yeah.
If you say this, like I would never say this in a product team. Like I'm the CEO of the product.
Come on, yeah, we say that. But some people don't say it, but they can see that they think think it, they
Yeah,
believe it.
yeah. But humility is the nicest quality you could have, and not being humble is also not progress. I mean, evolving. How do you say? No, not growing. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, I think humility can be sometimes a strength, sometimes a weakness. Well, we talked to that another day.
I agree. Yeah.
So yeah, can you explain a bit like the difference, because we talk about first PM, founder, but you've had so many positions in your career. Can you maybe explain the difference between product management and product lead and head of product?
Okay. So like first product manager.
Head of product and product lead.
Product. Okay. So okay. First product manager, and when I arrived, I was in an existing system that was working but had problems. Let's say it that way. So how it worked was we had an engineering team shipping super fast. We had I don't think we had any designer at the time. So design was done by everyone in the company in a way, just like, hey, that look good. Okay, let's ship it. And very founder led still. Like the I would say best generation mainly come from the founders because and it makes sense. They know the markets. It works so far. Why not? So I was just jumping in this existing system, and I have to find a way to bring value. That's how I like to see it, and I think it's well. A lot of people talked about it online. It's not an easy position to be in because you're like you're going to be in conflict with a lot of people. It's super easy to like work on everyone's feet, so you be careful. And
You're
also,
comfortable with that?
I was, to be honest, yeah. I was obviously syndrome going strong, but I like to see imposter syndrome as a good sign. It
Yeah.
means you're like
You're growing.
comfort zone. Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
learning, growing. Exactly. Only way to to learn. So and so yeah, you're also gonna be in conflict with founders directly because
Yeah.
they're still very very present in the product process and what we do, and obviously, and so not easy because there is this kind of handoff, slow handoff happening. But yeah, it was hard. But also, I was not just like I trusted their just judgment, and I was just trying to bring value. So what
Yeah.
kind of value did I bring? That's the next question. Just like the biggest problem we had was alignment between everyone. It
Yeah.
was like between the marketing team and the engineer themselves, and what the founder thinks, and what everyone was thinking was the number one priority. Just
Yeah.
bringing clarity into this process. That was like how I entered the system in a way.
Yeah.
Then second step was like, okay, how can we ship a bit more uh, thoughtful solution? Because sometimes we were shipping stuff that made no sense, like no value to customers. They didn't care about it, so we just wasted time. Why?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like when I introduced discovery, and I was talking with a lot of customers, and I was like slowly trying to bring evidence into
This.
every
Yeah.
bet you are taking, like, hey, that might not be a good idea. Okay, that's right, but the solution is not what people are
Yeah.
gonna extract value from. And so, and then it was into the delivery process. So
Yeah.
you get like someone told me this, and I really like this framing, which is confidence. No, trust is a spectrum. It's not like a binary. So
Yeah.
you have to like build trust with everyone, and once the level is high enough, you can like start to take more responsibility and give more your opinion on how you should do stuff.
Yeah.
So
Or
then
in
to think about, okay, how can we all work together, because at the same time we were hiring a lot of people, so we had
yeah.
designers coming in and
You
new
have to
engineer, and yeah.
manage the ego. Try
Yeah,
to do some massage to make sure that you find your way with working with everybody. Try to manage the ego. Ego is the enemy. That's also another good book.
yeah, yeah.
Trying not to be asshole. That's also another good book.
I didn't know this one.
Yeah, there's a theory about hassle and how to avoid hassle. And what's the theory? Why do we have assholes? And talking about assholes, I wanted to ask you, what do you do when you are conflicting with it? What did you do?
So First thing you have to know that in most of the time the CEO is the founder in this company at this stage. So they brought the company to this stage and they have a good judgment and because it worked and that's why you were hired because the company is working, right? So don't have the ego of thinking that you're better than them. You're not. So yeah, first advice: be humble. And if they have a good judgment, they will like your proposition or suggestion or the work you do. If they think it fits what kind of company they want to build and what works so far. So that's just the way I like to see it. And if they don't, that's good because you will know why. So they will kind of slowly influence the way you think about stuff. Like you will start to also think about them, which is good. Because in a way, you're just well, that's a cold way to describe it, but that's the truth. You're just slowly replacing the product manager hat they had, and they're giving it to you. But they want you to do it their way first, and then maybe you can start having your own grain of salt.
Yeah. Do you think product managers are better founders?
Good question. I think you have a good card if we think about it as a playing game, card game, like you have good card, I would say, because you know what good product look like and what's required, and you have experience building them. So that could be super useful because some people will argue that product is the most important aspect of a business. To be debatable, yeah. If I'm not sure I think this, I agree with this. Sorry, I'm really not sure because in some cases that's true. In some cases you have a lot of example of just people having extremely good go-to-market strategies and like very average product, and it's like a success. So not really true, but I think long term it's good, but I'm not sure like in the first stage of the company that as valuable as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the opposite? Founders are better product managers.
Skill set wise, yes, because they wear all the hats, and as a product manager, since you're working with different departments, you can empathize with everyone. You know how they work, you know how it works, you know how to make them work together. But big problem, you probably also have a big ego, and yeah, that could be problematic, I think.
Big head. Huh? We were saying, and all those hats, you need a big head. Talking about all.
Yeah, a humble founder probably could make a good product manager, but like a very egocentric founder, probably not. Yeah.
Talking about all those hats, is there like a hat that you don't like as a founder? What's part of the job you like the least as a product founder or a product manager?
The one everything related to administration, document, legal stuff like this. But I mean, that's I think most people don't like to do this kind of stuff, but you have to. But yeah, to give a bit more interesting answer, also that's just me. I get bored extremely quickly. So if I do one thing for too long, I get super bored. So I like to switch. So for instance, if I just I have the engineer sorry hat for too long, I would get bored and I really want to do other stuff. And also when I do only products, I miss actually coding or design stuff like crafting. So yeah.
Polymath. I feel you, man. I feel you. I still like the building part. This is why I like to say product manager. I like to define myself more as a product builder than a product manager because a manager manage, but the builder do stuff, create stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say product managers for not giving confusion to clients.
Yeah, I agree. The name is
It's in the title.
it's not good. I really agree. The manager keyword is not a good fit.
Mm.
And the problem is product builder. It's already taken by people doing no code. So
Yes,
that's super annoying.
I'm doing no code. Yes,
Maybe we
that's another.
could call it a product architect, something like this.
Oh yeah, a
Yeah.
product hacker, product architect, product something. We'll see.
Product lord, something like this. I
Product
don't know.
lord, man. Product supreme leader.
Yeah,
Damn,
that
that's
works.
dope. Can you share the story behind ListenUp. Okay, let's start now with ListenUp. So you mentioned you were frustrated. You tested some tools. Maybe you can mention the tools you've tested and it didn't convince you to do this discovery. Explain like the pain points. Like how did you identify the pain points there? And so you say, okay, I'm going to build my own tool, ListenUp, and explain what it is. ListenUp, who should use it and why.
Yep. So the two main issue I saw with the existing tool was first, okay, when you look at companies like we were at Lempire, so scale-ups, what mainly you're gonna see in product teams doing discovery is interviews. So it's gonna be mostly interviews, feedback coming in, inbound feedback, so coming from existing tool. I'm talking about SaaS companies, obviously, and maybe some survey from time to time. That's it. And when you look at the existing offers for product discovery tool, like very few of them offer exactly this. So either they're gonna give you like it's gonna only be a meeting recorder, right? Okay, and then you're gonna have the centralization of feedback only, no video, right? So you already need two tools to do the job, and one will only do like a specific research method, let's say. So you will have the survey tool only, or like yeah, so it's like this. And on the other hand, some of those tools are just extremely they have a super large scope, so you're going to try to do like the discovery and the delivery. Some people don't like to have both in the same place, and there is also a big trade-off, which means the product is probably not going to be as powerful as it could be if it were just focusing on one of those use case. And each of those use case, I think it's too big already, right? So only the delivery part of the product life cycle, you see how much way of doing stuff, features needed. Like obviously there are some interesting tool like Linear, everyone is talking about them, that are extremely opinionated, but still look at the number of features they have to build from scratch. And yeah, in the discovery, same, like the minimum feature set is extremely high. So yeah, just I was frustrated with not having one tool to do only discovery that was supporting our way of doing stuff, which is mainly interviews and feedback coming at us. And the second issue is like at the time there were none of them like really integrating AI in the process, because it's still even if you centralize everything, it's still super time consuming to just find patterns across all the insight you have, and try to have like a 360 view of everything. So
That's interesting because you do all that in one tool. So at the very beginning, when you wanted to start this product, how did you validate the concept? Can you walk us through the MVP process and the way you gathered the feedback, the
yeah,
first feedbacks?
yeah, for sure. So I think of every product decision as a bet. And so building a new product is a bet, a big one.
Yeah.
So the associated costs are high. So you're going to spend a lot of time on it, even
How
a
much
lot.
time did you work on this?
So it was a bit hard because at first it was just a side project. So we were just working on weekend on it. And then for a long time. And then we just decided to go full time on it when I quit my job and decided to,
Yeah.
take it seriously. But yeah, I would say around 8 months to 1 year, if we were like
Yeah.
if we're doing the sum of everything.
Yeah.
Every hour we worked on this project, but yeah, maybe even a bit more. But yeah, so the associated cost super high, the risk extremely high too.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now you have to divide. You have to think about, okay, what is risky in this? Is this the problem we're solving? No, we know that having competitors is a good sign, because you know that there is demand, there is a existing problem, and people are actually looking for solution and buying solutions. So okay, that's super nice. But the way we wanted to do it, as I explained to you, something that just do interviews and centralizing feedback in the same place with AI, and also being super simple, is like is it a good solution, right?
And so your MVP had all those features at the beginning. You didn't choose one feature and say, okay, I'm going to do the minimal viable feature. Yeah. Okay.
No, But no, if I was back to this moment, I think I would have done this, to be honest, because we
Mm.
chose the hardest path. But also, if we just had this vision and we wanted to fulfill it, and we thought, okay, we want to build the tool we would love to have.
Yeah,
So yeah,
because the package was the minimum valuable
yeah, and also that was a
product.
kind of a differentiation. It was just supporting both in the same place in a simple tool that only do discovery with AI. Now things change, like competitors are moving, and I don't think this positioning is enough. To be honest, today
Mm.
we see that a lot of people actually pivoted on this positioning.
Okay.
So yeah, which was a bit a good validation,
Yeah.
but also super annoying because it means like it's not that unique. But yeah, that's another problem. So we just run interviews with people to make sure that our statement was something people shared. So we talked
Okay.
to a lot of different type of product team, and we saw that
Before developing.
yeah, we just wanted to know, okay, what's your discovery process? What you do mainly? And we saw that that was true. Most people do interviews, feedback,
Yeah.
and some survey, some product analytics, and that's it. And so yeah, we were like, cool. Now we need to build the product, and we were just
Mm.
showing. I remember showing some design of the app, even
Okay.
if I don't really like to do this because people are gonna say, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So we didn't do it for long, and we decided, okay, we are okay with taking the bet of building this product, and also it's a good way for us just to learn how to build like a real AI product and a full SaaS, high quality SaaS. So even if that was not the right MVP and it didn't work, we were okay
Mm.
with it because we knew that you either you win or you learn. Uh,
Yeah.
like this framing. So yeah, we were also optimizing for learning,
You
and
said we win or we lose? Who are the we? It's you and another associate, a co-founder?
yeah, it's either you win or either you learn. You never lose. Like I really like this
Yeah.
mental framing.
Learn or earn.
Yeah,
Nothing to lose.
exactly. And that's I think it's a good mindset to have. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we decided to build a product, and once we had like at first we were just building the AI engine. So yeah, no, it's a bit more complicated. At first we just wanted to do a meeting recorder. So we wanted to do
Okay.
one feature, but we decided no, let's do like everything at once. First mistake. But we decided to build the full product. We had in our mind still the
Hmm.
but way bigger scope. And we had the AI engine ready. And it was at the time where ChatGPT was not even released when we had
Oh,
this. My co-founder is super good at building AI models, so he had something working, and we were just outreaching to product team we talked to, and we said, okay, just send us all your feedback, and we will just give you like what we found with AI, and for free. In exchange, you give us feedback on what
nice.
you generated. And yeah, it worked. Like we did this. We were generating a landing page for people. We are super customized with like, hey, here is what our AI engine found in
Nice.
all your feedback. And that was like the first iteration on the AI
Yeah.
engine we had. Then ChatGPT released, so we had like a lot of. That's when a lot of competitors start doing AI
Yeah.
in our space.
I rapper.
Yeah, AI wrapper, exactly. And AI fatigue also. Uh,
Mm.
it's true. People are already tired of hearing
Yeah.
new AI product released.
AI is like a buzzword now. Like everybody's like a bit fed up, as you said. Like, okay, another AI thing.
Mm.
And even on Twitter, I've seen like a couple of it became like memes, right? Like founder AI, and you put like AI in the goose just to say you're gonna eat that AI. We want AI everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think your product manager background shaped the way you approached your MVP on the process of building this product?
Oh, for sure. Especially on yeah, for sure. Like for instance, making sure every like being aware that every feature has a cost also.
Yeah.
So there is a cognitive cost for users. So every feature you have to think about, okay, is it like worth the cognitive load increase for users for the
Mm.
benefit they they could extract from it, or us. Like there is a business benefit and there is a user benefit value, both way. And in our case, because we were trying to build a simple product,
Yep.
if you are just trying to build a product with a lot of features, because that's the product positioning you think is what you need to win the market, you don't think about this. You just add a lot of features. That could also work. Like in the product world, for instance, people are against Feature Factory, but
Yeah.
Salesforce. They also work. And some people prefer to have this full flexibility, a lot of features. And obviously, activation is harder, but when you have a sales-led process, that's not really a problem.
Spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly.
Because everybody wants to replicate a spreadsheet at a certain point. Because we was doing web development, we were asking like to accountants, what do you need in this application? Because we were building like internal tools in a accounting department, and each time they were asking kind of an Excel or a spreadsheet. Like we want this. Actually, what you want is a spreadsheet. It's an Excel. yeah, that's what I want. Come on, we can do more than that. But because sometimes you have this myopia. You know one tool and you want to replicate what you've seen in something that works for you in another tool, and like, hey, I need this because of that. So, as you said, clarity, I think, is also something that's very underrated nowadays. Less is more. Simplicity. I think it's very cool to have like, we talk about micro SaaS for a moment. You have this hype, like you have a SaaS with one feature or two max, you release it and you monetize it. Works. I wanted to ask you.
And just to be nuanced, we decided to build a simple product, not because we think like most products should be simple, because we saw that our competitors were mostly extremely complex products at the time. So we thought, okay, we could do like a simple product given the problem space of our ICP. We really thought this was true, so that was the starting point for building a simple product.
That's great. Time to insight. And actually, you can see it because your design is pretty neat. Actually, I kind of like it. It's very well done, well crafted, I would say. Did you do it, or is it?
Yes, I did, and it's actually I was going to do a LinkedIn post this week or the next.
Really? How did you do it?
So I'm not a good designer. I really could work on my design skill. I have ideas and I try stuff. And so like on Figma, I'm not really at ease. You should see it's terrible. But I still managed to do stuff, right?
Okay.
And we were thinking about when starting ListenUp, we had this observation that, okay, most SaaS tools are super boring, like design-wise, all looking the same. The blue colors and super flat and simple design. And when you look back at the web back in the days, but it was more fun. Like a lot of websites were more charming. Even the apps you were using were more charming. Like iOS before going full flat design was super cool. Like with neomorphism and stuff like this. Obviously, UX wise, it was mostly terrible, but I think we could find a balance. And so we decided, okay, if we were launching a new SaaS product, we need to have a design that's not boring. And yet it's still like
delightful.
And you have a good experience on it, good UX.
Yeah. So, did you use a tool to do that? Did you use a framework, library?
Just ideation. You should. I will do this LinkedIn post. You will see the first iteration of the design were like terrible.
You're teasing.
We were trying stuff. We explored like a lot of solutions. It was actually super terrible. But then we iterated. We spent a lot of time on it. Way too much time, to be honest, on it. But we also wanted to build a product we liked. We would love. So that was important for us to nail.
Be proud.
Yeah. Be proud. Exactly.
Yeah. Did you use what's the tech stack of ListenUp, by the way?
Yeah, so it's Next.js with TypeScript for the front end. Back end is Golang. Then it's full AWS for the infrastructure. And that's it. Yeah.
And Stripe? Or?
Oh, Stripe, yeah, for sure. Yeah. We use a lot of external services, but obviously Stripe.
Do you use OpenAI API?
Yeah, but we use a different API because we do some waterfall. Because I don't know, if you're aware, but you can to explain easily. You could have like limitation with one AI API. Sometimes it's not really predictable. So if you want to ensure good experience for your users, it's good to have like fallbacks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a waterfall of
Yeah.
API.
Like
And
a rack.
there is this, and second point is that some model will be better at some task. So you
Okay.
also have to it's the triangle, like quality, performance, cost. And for the quality it will depend on the model, and
Yep.
so the cost also obviously, and the performance. And in some use case you want performance and you're not really keen on quality. In other cases it's the
Yeah.
complete opposite, and so you have to
Yeah.
we have a model that we use.
Interesting. And the prices are evolving. So sometimes you just need a light version of, you don't need a full.
Exactly. Even if the cost of tokens is like decreasing over
Yep.
time, it's still extremely important to take this into account. And also, we have a lot of custom AI of old AI engine around. So yeah, it's kind of a hybrid architecture. It's really cool. I couldn't explain more about it. That's my co-founder, but
Cool, man. So we talk about like the value of ListenUp. So we just said that it was designed for product discovery. You even brand it like that position, like to scale product discovery in companies. In your experience, what are the biggest challenges product teams are now facing in scaling product discovery?
yeah. So first, there are a lot of challenges, and it will differ from one company to another. The one we're talking about, there will be organizational issues. I won't talk about them because I think it's everybody. Well, I
Hmm.
mean, in every department you have
No
those issues.
perfect organization.
Yeah, exactly.
Honest.
But more on the actual job, I think it's hard because first it takes a lot of time. You have a lot of people taking a lot of time to run it, and the ROI sometimes is not clear. We are the first to say like intuition is a good time, is a extremely good tool, and sometimes you don't need to run product discovery. I'm the first one to say this to people, so that may be surprising, but yeah, I really think this. And so that there is this problem. The second one is like people don't reuse insight from other teams or like old insight,
Yeah.
which is a problem when you don't have like a single tool for knowledge. Um, and it's way more common than you think. And so people are going to waste time running new discoveries for
Mm.
stuff we might already know about.
Mm.
It's time. And also then it's going to be I think the bigger you go, the problem is also going to be like people talking to the same users or same customers, like they receive an email twice, and maybe they also receive uh, an email from the support team also running some survey. Like it can be super annoying for them. Like if you put yourself in their shoes, you receive three different messages from three different person asking the same stuff. That could be a challenge.
Yeah.
And also just the volume. Like the bigger the company, the more feedback you have. Most of the time, it's a linear relation.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, the more time you need to have everything, and the number of people who are gonna do this job is not linear. In a lot of cases, they have a lot of feedback, and they just don't have an overview, a 360 overview of what's going on, just because
Mm.
nobody has the time to do it. So yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, that's very interesting because sometimes you have to waste a lot of time in knowledge management, because you have some knowledge that you have to take over, and then you have this gap in knowledge because you're losing some discoveries, and you have like to rediscover what you've discovered in the past. And actually, sometimes you want to find new ideas, but actually, you have just the challenge is not in finding new ideas, is to not losing past previous ideas that you found. So
Yeah.
that's very interesting. I like the idea of the tool behind that. Can you share maybe some numbers about ListenUp, like monthly active users, recurring revenue, if you want to, on number of clients?
For now, we can't share anything because
No
we want
worry.
to do like a full public disclosure
Ooh,
in a few weeks. But yeah, for now, I can't talk about it.
teasing, teasing. All right, guys, go check Robin profile. That's super interesting. I'm super happy for you guys because I wanted to ask you, do you consider this as a sign of PMF? But I think you reached your product market fit, right?
Ah, that's a good question. It's not binary, but most people are now do know this. It's more like a curve,
Mm.
And where we are on this curve, yes, we do have like some sign.
Okay.
Still, I think there are some stuff we need to nail before I would say we have full product market fit, including like because I think it's important also to include in product market fit the
Yeah.
go to market. Also nailing this because you could have like a good product, good retention, paying customers, good activation, like given your situation. But if you don't have like a good GTM, and you could argue that you don't really have product market fits. If you define product market fit at as the point where you just have to scale stuff,
Yeah.
right? Uh,
That's the sign of product market fit.
yeah,
This sign,
this one.
the hockey stick. No, but that's interesting because sometimes we say, how do you are you sure you have like a product market fit? What are the signs? And that's very interesting because actually you're not the first guest talking about this curve as a sign of product market fit. So very interesting. So we talk about the building, we talk about the discovery, the tool. How did you launch it then? Did you have like how do you distribute it? Do you have like a go to market strategy? How did you find your first clients?
Okay, so we tried a lot of stuff, but the like first hundreds users, we just reach out to all the people we talked to. Uh, the first 50, we reach out to all the people we've talked to, running the initial discovery process for the product, right? So reuse the
Yeah.
leads you have, and so and it's super easy also to reach out. You can just say, hey, thanks for all the insight you gave us. We just built the product based on everything you said, and like people are like, wow, I need to check this out
And
most of the time. And then also, I leverage my LinkedIn profile. So I have a small audience that I've built in the past when I was working at Lempire. And so just like creating a post about the product and like asking people if they wanted to join the beta, that it was free and it was like a closed beta. We generated the first hundreds sign up like this. Then we did a product hunt, but big subject. I really like people who said like product hunt today is only good for SEO. And that's kind of true. If you're the thing people need to know about product hunt is that people who check product and product hunt, indie hackers, product builder, like
yeah,
this audience. If this audience is the ICP for your product, yeah, do it.
good.
If it's not, this is not where you will find your ICP. But it's good to do just for SEO because it will bring a lot of traffic on your website. But you will generate a lot of false signal. You have to be aware of this. So you will have a lot of signups.
Mm.
But people who are not your ICP, so you will not convert them well. They will not stay on your products. They will not even activate. So yeah, be aware.
Interesting. Yeah, fourth sign, fourth like the matrix of vanity matrix might be stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
And
How would you
now
make sure that your ICP is aligned with the audience, the channel that you're using?
So that's the trade-off of each channel. So, for instance, cold outreach, what we did, the product Lemlist was helping people who were doing this. The biggest advantage of cold outreach is that you can precisely outreach your ICP, which might not be true for other marketing channels, right?
Mhm.
And so this is a big advantage for, in our case, we do a lot of outreach. So as I said, super easy to find the ICP to target them. And we also do like my personal brand and LinkedIn is mostly for product managers and
Yeah,
designers who like to craft cool product in the SaaS, in B2B SaaS industry. So this is my ICP. And so
Mhm.
people who engage with my content, well, they are.
What's your banner about? Because you mentioned the card decks.
Yes,
What's a
because
card deck?
yeah, I don't know if you saw some of my posts. I like to. It looked like cards,
Yeah,
cards, and I just thought it was a cool idea. And
it is.
also, it's a good format because it forces you to be concise when you
Yeah,
explain stuff. And
kind of
so,
infographics, kind of, but
yeah,
like it. Good format. Good format. You do that. You did that in Figma or another tool.
full Figma. Yep. Uh, that's Figma is really interesting as a product.
Mm.
But yeah, it's actually I couldn't find any other tool to do stuff like this. So I knew Photoshop. I used Photoshop in the past, I used Illustrator in the past. None of them were good for doing what I do because I'm way faster on Figma and I can do everything. I'm never like really constrained by Figma. The only constraint would be exporting carousels. It's a
Yeah,
bit annoying, like as PDF, but that's it.
that's it. Yeah, and even that,
Right?
I think Kevin also find a nice way to to do that carousel in Figma. It was interesting too. You made me think about like a guy called I think it's on Ozon Janice. I have to find his name back. I'll put the link in the description. But he's doing like kind of express ideas visually, but very in a clever way. So I like this also.
I think I know what who you thinking about. Yes, it's
Yeah,
like explaining concept, like
yeah,
divide your goals by step, and
yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
yeah. I really like
Like,
those infographics.
yeah. There's also another guy called Visuals. It's a VV. Forgot. Okay, find it back. Visual something. You know, man. You mentioned most advice online about building product is pretty mediocre or a way too complicated.
Yeah,
You've talked about pragmatic customer discovery as the middle ground of between scrappy and academic approach. Can you explain this concept and how it helped you?
yeah, for sure. So one observation I have, and it's that it's a spectrum, like the research. And on the one hand, you will have people who are like extremely rigid, extremely academic approach, by the book, and it's like we need to validate everything, and it's gonna take a lot of time. We have to do it. It's the scientific approach. So
Yeah.
we need to back every decision with data, extremely rigorous, almost scientific. Uh, and on the other hand, you have like the mom test kind of a person who do like 5 interviews with leading question, but still get some pretty good insight and is like deciding what to do next. But so that's the two end of the spectrum, and I think, to be honest, for most companies, startups to scale ups, the middle ground, sorry, which we like to call the pragmatic discovery, is kind of in the middle. So it's a lot of bullet points, but like if you think you need to validate everything, you're not doing pragmatic discovery. If you think you need to do discovery every time you need to take a decision, you're not doing it. If you don't think speed is king most of the time, I don't agree with the way of doing stuff. And if you think like only user researcher or only designer or only PM can do research, you're wrong. Like that's
Mm,
a skill set, and it doesn't matter at the end. You just want to reach, uh, have a good decision.
mm,
So yeah, that's the way we like to put it, because online you will get the binary opinions, and
yeah.
you will have this middle point, I think. So we are trying to push for it in a way.
Yeah. I think it's true. Like you have a lot of you know um, influencers, consulting companies that try to leverage that knowledge. Like books. Like sometimes you have like very famous author writing books about discovery and stuff like that. And you can make it very complicated, or you can make it very simple in a
Exactly.
clever way.
I 100% agree. And in most skill sets, like the 20% you need is the fundamentals, and you will get 80% of the benefits. So you don't have to optimize everything, do everything by the book. Like people who are living and paying themselves, selling knowledge, will try to invent concepts, will try to theorize everything. Yeah, that's like the way it is. And it happened in the product world. Like, just look like I often take this example, the how you call it, I forget the name. uh
Martin Kagan?
no, the Agile Manifesto, sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you look at the history of the Agile Manifesto. It's just a few statements
Yes.
they were having and they agreed upon. And when people think about Agile today, they are thinking about the Scrum methodology, everything around all the processes, which what is just like built upon those principles.
Yeah. And
That's
safe and stuff and
Yeah,
organization.
and people like to focus on processes and framework, but they can be useful. I just think you have to understand why they exist, and they
Mm.
are like just fundamentals principle, and
Yeah.
mental models to have. And I think it's more important to focus on those, and also like how to do stuff. So like be very actionable and be a lot into the which kind of mindset do you have,
Yeah.
and less on the processes.
Mm.
I think it's important, and that's something that's lacking in the product
Yeah.
resources.
Why do you think people think like that? They like these kind of approaches, like safe and organizational, and like you
Because
over.
yeah, it looks good. It's reassuring, and it's easy to explain in a way. But that's not because it's way harder to like instill a mindset in people
Yeah.
or explain how to do stuff when people are not doing stuff. Like you learn by doing a lot, also. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah. What's your vision for the future of ListenUp?
So that's a good question. It's still something we iterate on, but we would just love to have this product you can plug in your company, and you have like a 360 view of your customer insights, and you do get like all the benefits of product discovery without the drawbacks, and everyone in the company using it. So mainly it's going to be product team, obviously,
Yeah.
but also the marketing team can leverage the tool for what they do. The sales team is also leveraging the tool. Like the support team is also using it. Even the C level, like it just become one dimension to take better decision across the company. And so that would be, yeah,
A
what
good product vision.
we're like winning.
Yeah. Do you have other SaaS ideas or market you want to chase?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Very different ones, but
Can you
it's
share
mainly
some?
pharmacies was
Okay.
one. Also, we had nightclubs where people are buying a lot of bottles. We also had gaming companies. I also thought about doing very different kind of businesses like Airbnb and stuff, but just for fun. Like I like
Yeah.
to think about those and
B2C are more fun, but more
harder.
risky, too, volatile.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to focus on one thing for a long time, and
Yeah.
so you have to choose the opportunity, and prioritizing is saying no to stuff that are extremely exciting. If you
Mm.
don't do this, you're not really prioritizing, right?
Do you How do you see field of product management evolving in the next few years? Are there emerging opportunities that product managers should be aware of?
I think we will see roles merging more and more, and I'm actually lots into this because I think hybrid roles are extremely powerful.
Yeah.
Because first, it makes working okay. One problem with product team is that you have very different kind of people that have to work in the same direction together, and it's extremely super. It's super hard to orchestrate, and people have different philosophy of doing stuff, and that's why it's a problem in most product team actually,
Mm.
and it's a
Yeah, I
regular
agree.
subject in design communities, engineering communities, product communities, marketing communities.
Yeah.
That's just super hard. So I think just one of the biggest benefits of merging roles is that people you have less communication lines, you have less gatekeeping, and it's just easier to work. So yeah,
Mm.
that's one. Two, I think like knowledge and productivity are being maximized today. So knowledge on the web, you have so many resources. You can learn pretty much any skill now if you are willing to. So that's good. And
Yeah.
second, like now we have so many good tools and automation, and now AI to just speed up the work of most roles.
Yeah.
So now, so that means you have more time, and you can do like you can actually have multiple hats.
Yeah. You can
So
enlarge your scope.
yeah, and I think also it's more fun just to have like more different tasks and more stuff to do and more
Yeah.
impact. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And so I'm really into merging roles, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
a.
yeah, it's gonna happen. I don't know how. I think we will see more and more product engineers and
Mm.
product designer would are like product manager too,
Yeah.
because I think one of the risky stuff is that product manager most of the time they don't craft,
Yeah.
and the most the closest role who craft is the designer, product
Yeah.
designer.
Yeah.
So I think we will see those two merging first.
Yeah. Product designer, or what I was doing before was like product marketing. Product and marketing.
Yes, the other way
And
around.
yeah, and sometimes you also have like what I see too is like product designer. Sorry, I was thinking about another role that merged pretty well with that. Yeah, I wanted to say that product management for me is product growth, hacking, and product. That's also another one, more
Okay.
into sales. And I wanted to say that product management is becoming the new project management. There was this super hype about product that everybody wanted to become a product manager at a certain point, and now you can see it. I think senior product manager is the number one job that everybody wants to leave into 2024 because too much hype.
Yeah.
And it became so mainstream with Meritech again, with all this literature, that it became like a very basic knowledge. Like everybody is gonna learn product management. Product management is gonna be like the new project management. Everybody's gonna do like Prince 2 stuff.
And that's
Same
okay.
way. And
That's
that's
okay.
okay. It's
Yeah.
good because it's gonna be like the new culture, the new product culture. It's gonna be the new tech culture.
And we're gonna make better product.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm really against gatekeeping, to be honest. And I think too many people are associating their identity with the role they're having professionally, and I think that's
Yeah.
bad. That's bad because you gatekeep, and then if you want to innovate, you have to be the exception and go against the current. So yeah, and I think merging role is extremely. Also, another thing with merging role is that you unlock new perspective. So
Oh yeah.
one good example, you can check the design engineers at Vercel. You can find them on Twitter,
Yeah.
and you will see what they do. It's kind of crazy, and like you will. I don't think you get this result with a designer and engineer dedicated to
Really.
their task. Yeah,
I'm gonna check
you.
that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I've seen that you've done a certification by growth design, product psychology. How is it? Because I was hesitating to do the same. I was
Uh,
like,
it's good.
yeah,
I
it's
would
good,
recommend it, and
worth
yeah,
the price.
worth the price. It's good, and I also really like their philosophy of designing. Also, I think
Yeah.
it's close to everything we think, and it's really into psychology. It's
Mm.
a lot of heuristic. It's a lot of pragmatism. Also, they are
The
not.
newsletter is
Uh,
great.
yeah, they are not like into the academic approach of designing, which I like.
Yeah, they gamified a little bit the newsletter. It's like, here is the nugget of the day.
Yeah, and
You can do the exercise and
they are
nice.
business centered also, which is sometimes lacking in design communities.
Yeah.
And even if everyone is mostly working for profit organization,
Yeah. That's
so
true.
you have to think about the business.
All right, Matt. For those in the audience who are product managers considering move into funding their own SaaS or building their own SaaS, what advice would you give them?
Don't think too much about it. Do it, and win or learn.
Is there like a moment when you feel it like, okay, now it's okay to move, okay to launch more own stuff?
No, and I really agree with there. There is no perfect moment for everything in life. It's just opportunities, and either you take them or you don't. And yeah, don't wait for the perfect moment. Even if
Mm,
even if it is the worst moment, you will have a nice story to tell in the future.
that's true.
You can even be you can
That's true. You know what I've been through.
yeah, exactly. You can be that grandpa.
All right, man. Maybe what are some common pitfalls to avoid at the beginning? You know, when you just moved and you're like a program manager, you want to launch your own SaaS. Is there like,
Yeah. Don't try to you be scrappy, be pragmatic. Done is better than perfect.
mm,
Move things forward. That's actually super hard to do when you're coming from a bigger organization because you have the mindset of a bigger organization, which don't
mm,
apply to a smaller organization. So you really have to be okay with not doing things perfectly, being scrappy. Yeah, extremely important. Speed is king, and yeah, you have to do stuff. You have no choice.
mm,
Second one would be don't divide your attention. Your time is so limited, and since you have so many hats to wear. I for way too much time still today working on this. But yeah, how you invest your time is how the company will grow or not. So yeah, extremely important to
mm,
be extremely focused on the right activities, and yeah, always think about this. Okay, am I investing my time the right way today? Yeah.
okay. Interesting, man. Thanks. Do you think like yeah, no, to ask another question, like what have been the biggest challenges you faced in your career? And what lessons have you learned there?
That's a good one. Yeah, I think it was just defining how everyone should work when we were hiring new designer, new product manager, new engineers, and everyone had their own philosophy and ego. So it was extremely hard to just define, okay, what's the best way we can work together? Everyone is happy, and yet we ship stuff and we reach the outcome we want. That was extremely hard.
Yeah.
Uh,
What
and
tactics did you use?
I think to be honest, I have like a kind of a hot take on this. I think it needs to go from above, and they have to say, okay, that's the kind of company we are. That's how we build products. You don't like it, don't come.
Yeah, sometimes you need to
Because
filter.
yeah, it's if you try to make everyone happy, the process is not good. To be honest, it's
Mm.
either it's gonna be too slow. That there is a reason why some of the biggest company we say are more like engineering led or design led or
Mm.
stuff like right marketing led, because that's how they decided the company should work and build stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. Like
Yeah.
people who want to be in this, cool. You
It's
don't
like
you, you don't think it's gonna fit what you think.
yeah.
Don't even try. You're not gonna influence us. That's the way we want to be. You will find it in other company.
It's like little tribe, and they have their own beliefs and values, and they have the totem, and they, as you said, have this leading value.
Exactly.
Uh, so
Yeah.
you can see they are moving toward one direction or another, and it's like engineering led or design led or product led.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. How do you manage your time? Because we mentioned like time is very you know limited in your day. How do you stay motivated? How do you maintain a well-being? Do you have like routine? Do you have like any strategy and time management strategies
Yeah.
to be productive?
That's a good question because I am still learning on how to best manage my time. It's still an ongoing battle, but what works for me, and people who listen to us can try, and maybe it will work for them or not. The most important one is each and every day I just ask myself, uh, I am invest. Am I investing my time the right way? Are things moving forward? What could have avoided? What could have done more? So yeah, that's the first one, and this will be enough in most cases, I think. Then the motivation, yeah, it comes, it goes, and I think like the 2 minutes rules really work for me. Like when I don't want to do something, it's a big task. You just say, okay, I'm gonna do 2 minutes of it, and then I stop. But
Mm.
then you start and you get into the flow, and then you are more. You you get it's harder to stop than to continue because you have the inertia of starting the task. So that this one works most of the time.
That's a very good one.
And also just taking pause and doing it's the essential. To be honest, it's just doing fitness, sports, like outdoor stuff.
Do
Uh,
fitness?
yeah, I could do more. Oh, you see, I have like my notifications saying I should go to the gym, but
Oh,
yeah, I try, and it's just helping you. Like I mean,
yeah. You go
one
like
we are human, we have needs, and good sleep, fitness, social interaction, and nutrition, stress management. Do those four, find what works for you,
yeah.
and then to me, productivity is just a byproduct of this, and then just a few tactics like the 2 minute rules or asking yourself, are you investing your time the right way? And removing stuff also like you watching too much YouTube, okay, try to
Mm.
limit it, stuff like this, yeah.
Removing, not adding.
Yeah.
Excellent, man. All right, we are heading the last part of the episode. So I'm going to ask you questions. Try not to answer with overthinking about it. Just try to give your first intuition. All right,
Okay.
you ready?
Okay.
Okay, man. Where are you in 5 years and what did you do?
Aha. On a boat drinking champagne with my co-founder. No, that's,
The
I don't
VC
know.
lifestyle.
I hope I'm gonna be in a better position that I am today. Just knowing that I grew. That's all.
I grew.
uh, yeah, I'm a better person in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna be in it. Don't worry. How do you find work at? How do you find joy at work?
Just because I like what I do. It's as simple as this. Like you do
You-
something, you like it, do it more. Yeah.
What brings you energy?
um, Motivation, but it's not something you can count on all the time. Just doing more stuff also makes you want to do more stuff. Doing less
Mm,
stuff makes you want to do less stuff. And same also the fundamental needs like nutrition, sleep, and social interaction.
okay. What drains your energy?
Working too much, too hard, too intense, not taking pauses, like I can be drained from my energy a lot.
Mm,
Or like simple stuff like staying too much in bed on the weekend, or just yeah, not sleeping right
yeah.
enough, quality sleep, or just like people who talk about themselves too much, like I'm doing.
No, worry. We are here. That's the purpose. Don't worry, man. What does a meaningful life look like to you?
When you Okay, I'm gonna try to give a good one. When your value align with your action first, and also when your meaning in life that you found yourself after thinking about it, you pursue it and you actively going in that direction. Yeah,
Did you find it? Your meaning?
I don't think so.
There is a study nowhere about the finding the meaning of finding happiness, because if you focus on thinking about happiness or being happy, there's like scientific like studies that show that you're gonna be less happy if you
Yeah,
chase happiness.
it's the one in the chapter how to not give a fuck. I really like this quote, which
Oh,
is like,
it's in the book. Okay.
yeah, when you are thinking of having a positive experience because you don't have you have a negative experience now, is it itself a negative experience?
Yes, that's mind blowing.
Yeah, and I think happiness is like enjoying small stuff,
Yeah,
keeping the child curiosity all the time,
yeah,
like gratitude, even if I don't really do it, like writing in a
yeah.
journal, stuff like this, like
Journaling.
yeah, accepting life as it is and
Hmm.
finding small stuff, but also having goals and pursuing bigger stuff bigger than you. I think that's like the
Yep.
recipe for me.
That's doing a goal bigger than you. That I like it. How would you define success?
That's a hard one. I think it's for me it's when you achieve stuff, achieve goals that had high stakes, high risk. You that took a lot of time, a lot of energy, and you had like a lot of doubt if you were like actually able to do it, but you still did it.
The questions you wished I asked, but I didn't.
I don't know. I don't know. This one is I don't know how much
Okay.
setups cost.
How much do you value ListenUp if I want to buy it? Good question.
Let's do like the meeting.
Yes. Who are your favorite creators, builders, founders?
That's a good one. Well, people I know from my network, so I'm gonna say Guillaume, obviously. I'm gonna say Thibaut from Taplio is really interesting. Very different
Yeah.
philosophy and way of doing stuff, like a real indie hacker.
In really Decker.
Yeah, Mark Lou is in the same vibe
Yeah.
also. But just like people behind the linear product are interesting, but also people behind like a lot of products you think are good. I think it's cool to reverse engineer and see like who are the people building it and are they making content, just a podcast or something like this, and that's more valuable than just looking for people who live from personal brand because some
Yeah.
of them are legit, some of them are less, right?
Yeah. But you worked with Thibaut from Taplio because you've been head of Taplio, right?
So yeah, it was a kind of a because we acquired the company and in the contract they were still working on the
Yeah.
site and isolated, but the more how do you say the closer to the end of the
Yeah.
contract.
The less shares.
Yes, the more we were like actually thinking about how we're gonna build this ecosystem with Taplio and Tweetcenter. So yeah, we started working on it. We started having an impact and like decision power on it. So yeah,
All right.
yeah,
I'll try to.
hackathon with Thibaut, and it was interesting. Like we were building the same products, and it was pretty fun. And Thibaut is
Nice.
like, extremely talented. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you were there when they acquired Taplio. That's also another episode of a podcast, but there are plenty of content about this Taplio acquisition. So
Yeah.
we leave it to listeners to do their own research. All right. Yeah. What are your favorite products or application
Hmm.
except of ListenUp?
Except ListenUp, I don't really have one to be honest. But I think one which is extremely underrated and not talked as much as it should be is VS Code for people who code, because people who use the previous IDE know how painful they can be, and VS Code is just like so it's well made.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
it's simple, it's flexible, it's looking good, it's performant most of the time if you don't have too much extension.
Super fast to install.
Yeah, what do you need more? Yeah,
Yeah. It's perfect. Your favorite business books or personal development book?
that's a good one. I really like the Subterra to not give a fuck, even if it's not like a business book. It's just so good for like one of the biggest pitfall you can fall in, which is distraction and giving too much fucks about stuff. So yeah, to me that's such a good book for your whole life, professionally or personally. But yeah,
Do you think we are distracted?
sorry.
More distracted nowadays?
Oh, for sure. You have more distraction than ever. Like you have so much. Everything is too much comfort in the human life and too much entertainment, too much distraction.
Yeah.
Interaction are multiplicated with social media and stuff. Like it's super easy now to be
Mm.
distracted, and that's a problem because yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes you need to seek happiness in the hard stuff. You're doing effort.
yeah,
No effort, no happiness. That's
we
weird.
are not learning how to delay gratification and
Yeah.
invest in long-term projects of
Yeah.
any kind, which is extremely valuable. Yeah,
Cheap dopamine.
yeah. But people are getting aware of it, I think, and
Yeah.
yeah, you see more and more content
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
dopamine,
That
this
new
stuff
part.
like this. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's been a few years already. Yeah,
Your favorite podcast?
it's a good one. I don't think I have one because I'm listening to very different kind of podcasts. It's mostly like me. I mean, that's the way I listen to podcasts. I listen to people I'm interested in,
Yeah.
and whatever podcast they've been on, it's okay.
People centric. Yeah. It's very interesting. Favorite newsletter?
I really like how they grow. I think it's so interesting. Like for anyone building product or even yeah, it's full of it's well made, it's extremely interesting, there is storytelling and there are a lot of lessons from actual successful companies. And yeah, the one on the Lego story is the one that I remember the most. It's really good. It's a bit long, but I really recommend reading it. It's super,
Okay.
super
Bigger
interesting.
story on the newsletter, how they grew.
Yeah.
Okay, man. Next people you'd like to hear in this podcast?
Who can be interesting? I think it could be interesting that you interview Kevin from Lempire because he's
Yeah.
like the second stage of the company after I quit Lempire, and I think you will have different perspective and new lessons also from the stage from scale up to more than a scale up, which is as interesting.
Yeah. Scale up to enterprise.
Yeah.
And actually, I've already met him, so it would be easy to convince him. I think
Ah,
when they launched the Lembers,
yeah.
they did a kind of a batch, right? And I was in first batch or second batch, I can't remember. Well, the very beginning, we had this thing that we had to go on the Lembers, took a print screen, and then we were all day long on Slack with Kevin, and we did like a lot of meetings and stuff like that online. But okay, that was very, very nice.
Yeah,
The
it was,
Lembers.
yeah,
All right.
Lambert was cool.
Yeah, that was so cool. Quotable quote that you like to remember?
Don is sorry, I have it in French because I like the translation. Fait mieux que parfait. Done is better than perfect.
Yes.
I
Yes.
really like it. I really
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, cool, man. Last question. Where can we find you?
On LinkedIn mostly. So yeah, you look for my name on LinkedIn, you're gonna find me, and I hope I can do more content on more platform in the
Yeah.
future when I have more time. But for now, yeah, it's mainly LinkedIn.
I'll put your link in the description.
Yeah.
Man, it was a great episode. I really want to thank you. It was a real pleasure. So thanks again for your time and your
Yeah.
insight.
Shared.
Right, Robin. Have a nice evening. See you, man.
Bye.
Bye, man.